Hi, this is John Fritz and Do It with a quick overview of some changes we're proposing to make to this Blackboard Check My Activity, as well as some new reports from Blackboard that we would like to introduce in the spring semester. But they're not ready yet, but we're thinking about doing this. So students who log into Blackboard are familiar with this screen. If they want to, they can check their own activity compared to peers in the course. If the instructor posts grades in the Grade Center, then it allows them to compare their activity against an anonymous summary of peers who earned the same higher or lower grade for any assignment. Now, over the years, we found that there might be some reasons why students would want to do this. Since 2007, we found that students earning a D or an F tend to use Blackboard about 40% less than students earning a C or higher. For the most recent semester that we have grades, spring 2012, we found this same to be the case. Now, this is using a new report from Blackboard, but it complements what we have been finding as well. So this report shows from left to right activity quartiles for students who earned a final grade. So in this case, the least active A students were still more active than the most active D and F students. And we're seeing this is across the board. There's also some uh, interesting course design impacts on activity. One is the use of the Grade Center by instructors. Now, this is not an exhaustive list of all disciplines, but this graph is. Um, One of the things we're finding is that when instructors use the Grade Center, they tend to be associated with activities that generate more student activity. So, for example, downloading a syllabus or a document doesn't tend to generate as much activity as, say, an interactive discussion board, um, uh, use of a practice quiz or exam, all of which might have a corresponding grade. And that when students have that kind of feedback, they tend to come back over and again, or if they're turning in electronic assignments as well. Now, one of the things we're wanting to do is actually change the check my activity in my UMBC, and this is an early prototype that we might be looking at. What this would do is give students sort of a quick at a glance view instead of just a wall of numbers. It would give them a visual interface to kind of look at where they are right now, how they might compare in terms of activity, and then something new that we're thinking about is maybe the GPA of students in the particular course. Now, this would all be anonymized, aggregated data. The students would never be able to see individual names, but if they could see where they fit within a GPA band within a course and how active they are, that might be helpful to them. Similarly, it might be helpful for faculty if they could see how active their course compares to other courses. Now, this is a ranking of activity, not quality, but we think that it could be useful for students. And now, students could be able to see the same grade distribution reports that we've had, but if you combine all of this information together, the activity of the course and the activity of students, you might be able to see something like this, where a student could see how active they are compared to peers in a course that is either not active or they are inactive in a course that is. We think these could be some interesting things that would change how both students and faculty approach the use of Blackboard. Now, some of the new reports that we want to be introducing, they're not available yet, but we are hoping that they will be hopefully by the start of spring, but if not, then maybe just after the start. This would allow students to compare their activity with others in a particular course. So students would be able to see something like this. Now, Bonnie Hartman doesn't exist, but this is real data. So it's real data, but not a real person. This would be able to show the student how active they are across certain areas. Similarly, faculty, if they wanted to, they could see a course at a glance, so the individual course that they're in. They could see how it compares to other courses in the department and across certain areas like this. They could also check individual students and to see what that trend is. If they wanted to, they could see this activity and grade scatter plot. Um, that simply kind of shows where the grades are corresponding to activity. You can't quite see it on the bottom axis here, but if they wanted to, they could also then see an individual student and drill down into that course at a glance. And then finally, the last report is this activity matrix. It takes a little while to get used to, but it's sort of like a heat map that would allow instructors to be able to see how students are doing relative to any kind of activity and grade. This is all sortable, and students would be able to, or instructors would be able to see this as well. Thank you.